Hello and welcome. In today's video, we'll be exploring the topic of how active women should be in sexuality and in what ways. This topic is explored in detail from both practical and scientific perspectives. Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like so we can continue in that vein. Now, let's move on to the role of women in sexual activity. Let's get started. Before going into the details, let's begin by exploring what it means for a woman to be active. First and foremost, it's important to understand that neither man nor woman owns a relationship. Both are. Women have what they want to do, and what they want to be done. In other words, women are an equal and important part of sexuality, both physically and spiritually. Many women are influenced by a culture and a perception that women should be quiet, not talk too much, and not express their desires. In fact, there's a belief, a habit, a cultural stance that a woman should be content with whatever a man does. This situation forces a woman to become quieter, more passive, and subject only to the man's behavior within the relationship, gradually leading to her withdrawal from sexuality. However, being active in sexuality isn't actually a role. It's a state of awareness. In other words, it's a state of awareness that perceives not only her partner, but also herself, considers herself, and cares for herself. You can think of it that way. What is the characteristic of an active woman? In other words, it's the characteristic of a woman who is at least as active as her partner in sexuality. First, she clearly and explicitly states what she wants and expresses herself. This is her active role. Second, she recognizes what she doesn't like and doesn't want, and tells her partner this in a polite, pleasant manner, at least in a language that doesn't bother her. Another characteristic is that she recognizes her own body and emotions, reacting or receiving reactions accordingly. In other words, this isn't just participation, it's an expression of emotional freedom. When a woman is passive, she essentially becomes someone who only needs and expects approval. However, sexuality is a mutual experience, shared by both partners and felt by both. So, how can a woman maintain this mental activity? How can she be active? How can she become more active than before? Making peace with her body and overcoming feelings of shame, not resolving them. How can she do this? Pay close attention to this point. Listen carefully and try to understand. What a woman needs to do during sex is to focus on her perceptions, feelings, breathing, and pleasure. This is the first requirement. Another important aspect is maintaining eye contact with her partner. In other words, maintaining communication. In a sense, this is incredibly important. It's also about expressing your own desires and expectations freely and without fail. And perhaps most importantly, it's about stopping worrying about whether I can do it, whether I can make someone happy, and focusing on what I'm feeling right now and how I feel. These small awarenesses lift a woman out of her passive role and make her even more active in sexuality, which is crucial for both partners. Perhaps a small distinction needs to be emphasized here. An active woman is someone who knows herself, understands her emotions and body, and embraces her feelings, and a woman who knows her own limits. Being passive in sexuality isn't actually a physical issue. It's often due to a need for mental validation. Just think, it's not a woman who needs this kind of validation. How much pleasure can she experience? How much focus can she put on this sexuality? How much pleasure can she give herself and her partner? It's nearly impossible. However, embracing her emotions will create and deliver a truly delightful, arousing sexual experience for both herself and her partner. This will make the experience deeper and more impactful. The pleasure experienced will increase significantly accordingly. Be careful about both physical and emotional pleasure. Separating emotions from the body in sexuality would be a profoundly flawed, incomplete, and a grave mistake. A person's body will remain unsatisfied if their emotions are not satisfied. This is true for both men and women, but women approach sexuality with highly emotional elements, a bit differently than men. As I've mentioned in previous videos, men perceive this topic more visually and figuratively. Women, being active, contributing to their emotions, managing them, guiding them, feeling them, and recognizing them are all incredibly important concepts. Now, if you enjoyed this video and the topics covered in it, and found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, share it with the people you love, and those you think need it. I upload videos like this one every Tuesday and Friday on this channel. To stay informed, please turn on all your notifications, and look forward to the next video. See you soon.